Hi, Michelle here. In today's video, I'm going to go ahead and work on some chores that I've been putting off for quite a while. And that is trellising some Hoyas that I've been just letting grow loose in my cabinets. And they've just been kind of growing loose everywhere, getting in the way. And some of them may need to be repot in order to get the trellises in. We'll go ahead and take a look at those. I have quite a few Hoyas. We'll see how many we get done. I don't want to make this like a, Lord of the Rings video in length, but we'll go ahead and take a look at them and we'll see how many we get done and we'll see how it goes and we'll see how long you want to stay. If you like today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That lets me know if you'd like to see more content similar to this on my channel. If you'd like to see other content similar, especially Hoya related content, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would get the word out to the plant YouTube universe that I exist and that my channel is out here. And if you'd like to add to the conversation, please put a comment in the comment section below. I do read all the comments and I do respond to them all. So I will get back to you. Just give me a couple of days to get back to you, but I will. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. I'm looking at this, and if you look at the roots in this, the roots are quite huge, but there are some root mealies, and that is something that I do need to address. I have a list of Hoyas that have root mealies. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. 5, I think. I need to mix up a batch of Pure Crop 1 and dump them in. I do believe that this Hoya has maybe just a couple of root mealies, because I see one right. Yeah, that's a root mealy. So it does have a couple of root mealies. So I am going to definitely, I don't know if I should put this on a trellis now, or if I should wait till I flush the pot for root mealies. I will go ahead and put a trellis in here and go ahead and wrap this up, but I will have to wash it off when we go to rinse the plant off. And this has scale on this leaf. I'm taking off the scale, but of course I didn't bring rubbing alcohol with me. Of course not. So when I get this done and I go in the kitchen to rinse these plants out with Pure Crop 1 to rinse the roots out, I will wash the leaves off with rubbing alcohol too. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut some strips of plant tape and I'm just going to attach, hopefully that's big enough, just going to attach these just right along the trellis. And just get these all nice and neat put up. These were cuttings off a plant that had issues, and I had to take emergency cuttings. So I'm glad that this has done so well. That is a damaged leaf. This is a very damaged leaf. This stem right here that I have a hold of has many growth points on it. It's very nice. I was watching Netflix today and I came across a show called Con Mum. It was a story about someone who was looking for his birth mother and found a con artist instead. I watched that last night and today, and I just found that was it was so sad, but it was so interesting at the same time. You know, people just, it's sad what people can get you to do things you wouldn't normally do when they gather your trust. It's sad. You know, trust is something, you know, I always told our son when he was growing up. He's 27 now, but when he was growing up, you know, in those teenage years and those years when we were, you know, building trust with him, you know, we told him, you know, trust is something that, you know, you earn slowly, but you lose quickly. And it just never ceases to amaze me that people can give away a lot of trust to people very quickly. And it's sad, you know, con artists are just so skilled at taking people's trust and then, you know, just using them and throwing them away. It's sad, you know. I've not had scams in my life, but I've had instances of, you know, where things didn't go the best for me, and it's not fun, you know, when you get the short end of the stick and there's nothing you can do about it. So, but that, whoops, I tried to rip off a new leaf. I like to watch a lot of documentaries. That's what I watch. I fall asleep to documentaries. I don't know if I'm probably the only person that can say that I fall asleep to documentaries. But it gives my mind something to think about. And that way I can trick the rest of my mind into falling asleep. So, but I love documentaries. What kind of shows do you watch on TV? I watch a lot of YouTube, actually. I do watch a lot of YouTube. I watch, oh my gosh, that reminds me. But before I do that, this is a little bit of a wonky trellis job, but fairly respectable in its own right. This is, I'm going to have to put it on the screen because I always get it wrong. I don't think this is the benvergarai. This is either, I think this is the benvergarai. I will have to put it on the screen for sure. This is, it's a little wonky. It was a mite victim. It has some wonky growth. I think I have another cutting of it up in the cabinet off to this direction. It did get hit off in the corner when this new leaf was developing. It did get bumped a little, but the rest of the leaves look pretty good. It needs to get sprayed down for scale. It does have a couple of leaves with scale on it. It does need to be treated for root mealies, which I'm going to pour Pure Crop 1 through the pots. We may or may not do that on camera. I'm not for sure yet. But this is the first trellis. This is I think, the benvergarai. Okay, the next one is the irina. And I'm looking at its inside, and it has no water in its pot. It has no root mealies. I do not see any root mealies. It is in a chunky mix of cocoa husk and chunky perlite. I am going to trellis this. Why am I going to trellis this? I'm going to trellis this because this trailing does not do very good. It's not really doing anything. It gets in the way. I think that it will grow once it has something to trellis onto, because see, these tips are dying. They're turning to wood. They're not growing. So I think if I had them on a trellis, they would grow for sure. So that's what we're going to do. I should have brought a full-size one, and I didn't. A full-size trellis. Hey, video editing Michelle here. In case you're wondering what I'm talking about when I'm referring to short trellises or tall trellises, what I mean is I ordered 18-inch tall trellises off of Amazon, but unfortunately they're too tall for me to fit inside my Millsbow cabinet and my Detolf cabinets. So I used a Dremel to cut the trellises down to 13 inches tall. That way I can put them in pots and they'll still fit very snugly, but they'll still fit inside my cabinets. So that's what I'm referring to when I say short trellises. Tall trellises are the uncut ones. So sorry for the vernacular, and I'll let you go back to the video. Bye. Because this one can have a tall one. Because all these are short. And this can use a tall trellis because it's not going inside a cabinet. Oh well, I guess we'll just use a short one. Okay, and let's just get these figured out. Beautiful new leaf on this. Is anyone looking to start selling and buying Hoyas again with the season coming up? I know I'm going to be starting taking cuttings and putting them up for sale. I'm probably going to be putting them up on sale on Palm Street, although they don't let me do a live. Well, why would I do a live? I have like no plants. But a purge, I they don't let me put my plants up for like like a whatever you call, like a little sale. I would like to do that, but I'm planning on taking cuttings for that. I have enough of my Hoya that I can safely do that. Like, let me show you. Like, this is the hanhiae I took that grew between the actual plant and the shelf going up to the level above it. So this is just extra growth between shelves. So this is getting cut up. I mean, these are some wonky leaves for sure, but these are getting cut up and put for growth. I mean, look how big that leaf is. It's bigger than my hand. It's bigger than my hand. So, and this leaf is still new. I mean, that's very new. So I have stuff like that. I am dealing with some plants that have root mealies right now. I haven't had a pest issue in like 18 months. And now I'm like dealing with root mealies. And it's frustrating. I am careful about, the plants I buy and everything and where I buy them from. And, even in the best of circumstances, you still get pests. So this is what the irina looks like on a trellis. And I think it looks pretty good. I like it better. So there we go, 2 down. The next one, if I can drag it off the cup, this one is my publicalyx pink silver ghost, and it's grabbing everywhere. I'm looking in the pot. I do see just a couple little, like maybe 5 little root mealies in here, unfortunately. This was one of the ones I noted for treatment. So we're just going to go ahead and give it a trellis and put it aside for treatment. Not going to think nothing about it. I'd love to know how your, whoop, that's too short. I'd love to know how your pest issues are, or your growth, situations are. Don't want to touch that leaf right there. But oh, there we go. Put this there, then we can hold this all the way down to right here, and then just kind of keep all that pressure off those leaves like that. See, that's how we're going to do that. We're going to just hold all those leaves off that trellis. That way they can grow and be just fine. Okay, now let's get these guys. But I trellis my Hoyas like this for space reasons. You know, yeah, I think they look nice too, but mainly for space reasons. I mean, close second is for, you know, looks. I do like the way they look when they are trellised, but the main reason is for space, because a trellised Hoya takes up a lot less space than a Hoya that is just kind of roaming, you know, hanging free and loose. Oh, that is a very fresh stem. Okay, so there we go. That looks okay. It's going to fill in nicely. The publicalyx pink silver ghost, it's going to fill in nicely. And now the one that I'm talking about when I say it hangs everywhere is this. This is the krohniana, or I'm sorry, the lacunosa super silver black. Is that how you say it? Yeah, super silver black. Krohniana super silver black. But I think it's the lacunosa super silver black. This is, you know, it skips nodes. You know, it's crazy. It's all over the place. It's growing stems everywhere. Let's, you know, I really am thinking a short trellis like that would be better. But if I use this one, then I would have to go make another one. What would I do? Let's try. But I can't use the. All right, let's just try this first of all. Let's see, is that too short? No, not too short. Okay, this one's going to have clips because this is too small to put. Okay, let's start putting these on. So I have about a little over 130 Hoya right now. I would have a little more, but I had some, you know, Hoya tragedies. I had a couple that just, you know, they just didn't make it. I have a couple that are kind of iffy right now, actually, which really sucks. You know, I don't know why I'm failing so remarkably all of a sudden at getting fresh cuttings, and rooting them. You know, I don't know, I have some cuttings right now that I'm really at death's door on. So, you know, it sometimes Mother Nature wins. Unfortunately, I can't really profess to be an expert. And you know, maybe some of these that I trellis today may throw a fit and just end up, you know, crashing and burning. You know, it's entirely possible that that happens sometimes. So you never know. But hopefully that shouldn't happen to any of these we're doing today, because we're just putting them on trellises. So that shouldn't cause any major catastrophes. Hopefully not. All right. Well, that turned out, look, got one more loose one. Loosey goosey. Okay. All right, so this is the krohniana Super Silver Black. Looks pretty good. I mean, it's a little jumbled. Has to fill in a little sort itself out a little. But I think it looks pretty good, all things said and done. Not too bad. Okay, we've got 4 done. And it looks like the battery on my camera is running low, so I'm going to change that. And then we're going to come back and do some more. I'm going to make one that's going to be about 15 inches long. And I'm going to wrap it around this pot to give it a bend, a small bend.
Ran down my head, I let you go. Do it alone, won't let you.
Really want a 4-inch pot to go round. Okay. There we go. That's a nice bend. There we go. And we'll just wrap this around real fast. Give it something to hold on to. Okay, so that's just a little quick trellis on here. And this has got a leaf growing, so that's going to be a nice support for that leaf. And this is the Aceh Gayo Lues. So that's nice. It's got that new leaf going right there, if you can see it. So hopefully this helps it hold on and grow that leaf. This is a Hoya that I really love. I gotta be very careful with. This used to be formerly the clandestina, but now it is something else. I'll have to look at the tag. IML 0161. And I got this with 3 leaves, and I broke one of the original leaves off, and so it's grown the rest of the leaves in my care. It's just got the most gorgeous venation. I definitely want to repot this. Unfortunately, I did not bring any pots with me, and that is my fault. I brought the potting material, just not the pots. So I guess I'm going to have to repot it into this, which I don't really want to do. But we'll do what we have to do. So I'm going to take it out of here. Okay, it's got very good roots. Drop some in the bottom. Drop some mix around, because that's all, the only place it's got to go is around. This pot is not too much larger than what it was in, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to repot this relatively quickly, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, so now let's put the trellis on. Oh, got a beautiful leaf on this. Beautiful leaves. Oh, and these are beautiful too. Okay. Okay, so here we are, the IML 0161, formerly known as the clandestina. What a beautiful, beautiful Hoya that is. The next one I'm going to do is the crassipetiolata times Miichele, and this is just on a old wire hoop trellis, and I'm going to take that off and I'm just going to put it on a bamboo trellis. This is going to be quick and easy. No repotting. This doesn't need a dip for root mealies. There are no root mealies in this. I don't really see a lot of roots in this either, but maybe it's still developing. I'm gonna put, let me grab the, there we go. Put the tag back. I kind of let my plant chores slide for quite a while. These are chores that I've been writing down on my Notion database, which is what I use to keep track of my Hoyas and everything Hoya. I've been been keeping track of this stuff for a couple of months now, and the list has just been growing and growing and growing, and it's been, difficult. When things, get tied up, you get tied up with stuff and you don't have time to do stuff, or you don't feel up to doing stuff. Everything gets put to the wayside. And I will be honest with you. I kind of feel pressure from when I watch YouTube videos and I see, great YouTubers, and they're out there and they're doing so much stuff with their plants. I envy them so much. I wish I could do all the things they do day after day. So here is my crassipetiolata splash times Miichele. This is the RSLH let's see, RSLH10-09. So this is that cross. So, I have a lot of stuff to do here, but this is stuff that I gathered all in one place. It's going to take me a long time to, clean up after I'm done. This is I have fatigue. I don't make these videos all in one shot. I don't prepare for these videos all in one shot. I don't get ready for these videos all in one shot. I don't clean up after these videos all in one shot. So, don't even look at me and think you can do what I do, because what I do is a false perception, I would say. This is my deykeae times chicken farm, and it's got some of the most lovely leaves. But if you notice, it's got a burn mark on this one. Got a little close to the light. So we're just gonna hook this little bad boy up and we'll be done with this one. But I don't want my videos to give a false perception of what happens in my life and in my plants. My plants actually operate with very little help on my part. They are quite self-sufficient. I do intercede when something happens, but there is a lot of survival of the fittest, I guess you could say, or a lot of things where I don't catch it because I have other things going on, and the plants kind of get put to the back burner. I guess that's what I would say, that yes, I make videos on YouTube about plants, but my plants are not my number one, go-to important, task. Yes, I take care of my plants and I try to have them look the best they can, but, I'm not, busting myself out every day, making sure my plants look, museum grade. So if you're trying to do that, or if you think that that's the only way you can get your plants to look large or nice, or just big, or fancy. You know, don't think that. A lot of times it's time. You know, time and patience is the biggest factor. So that is the deykeae times chicken farm. I think that looks really good. I think that, I mean, look at that leaf right there. Look at all that splash. That's really nice. So, and this leaf right here up close to the light is purple. So that is really neat. All right. This is my suluwesiana, this total pain in the butt suluwesiana. Do I want to keep it in pond? No, I don't, but it's well rooted. So what choice do I have? So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I have a stir stick somewhere. And I'm going to plant the stir stick in here. And I'm going to pin this up just so she hangs nicer. Just so she hangs nicer. Now that's going to bend. Of course, it's already starting to go, but at least it hangs up a little. And this whole leaf is a little longer. So that's all I'm going to do to the suluwesiana, is just elevate that a little. So now we're going to get towards the iffy ones. Okay. These roots look good. They look real good. So I'm looking at the leaves. I don't see, I see a dead stem. Okay. All right, this is the rintzii Borneo, and it looks really nice. It's got some sap on one of the leaves, but it's got new stems growing. It's got new leaves. I'm quite impressed. So I'm going to take this hoop trellis off. That's bent just a little. Be very careful about that. Take off this hoop trellis, and we're going to put a bamboo trellis. Or shall we put this trellis? Maybe we'll put this trellis, because this, shall we put that? No, this needs to be for short little plants. Okay. Okay, this one's hard to get down. Okay. 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 All right, that's about as far down as I can get. It bowed out the sides. So let's put this back in here, and let's add these onto the trellis. This rintzii Borneo deserves to be on a nice trellis and see these beautiful stems.
Remember in the night with someone new. It's not what I want, he's not you. At least
Back to what I was saying earlier, you know, I don't ever want people to see my plants and think they have to compare what I have with what they have, because that is absolutely not good. That just takes all the fun and joy out of plant growing. What I want to do with my videos is I want to encourage people to know that it's okay if something goes wrong, and it's okay if something doesn't look right, and it's okay if you do something to a plant and you have to start over from scratch. So here is my rintzii Borneo on the trellis. Unfortunately, that leaf is backwards. And it's just a gorgeous new leaf too. That leaf is just gorgeous. You know, too bad I couldn't reverse that. Let's get this Gunung Gading taken care of, because this thing's been a pain in my patoot for like 2 weeks now. And I only have one more trellis left. So I have to see, you know, this video is going to end when my trellises end. Okay, that's crooked. Okay, these roots look good. These roots look very good. I see no root mealies, which is good. Okay. Okay, so we got that. We got very good looking Hoya. Very good looking. This is a very healthy Gunung Gading. Okay, got that. Let's see. Got these. Uh-oh. Got one messed up new leaf. Probably will come out wonky from being out in the ambient air for all this time, unfortunately. And then there's a new leaf right there. Those will probably come out wonky. And there's a new one on this plant, on this stem too. Ooh, and more on this one. Gotta position them so they don't get bumped or minimally bumped.
something fun to do. Put on some makeup, yeah, for you. For your love, I volunteer. But tonight I just don't.
Okay, so here we are. We have our Gunung Gading. This is looking very nice, especially at the bottom. The leaves look very healthy. Got a lot of new growth down here. Hopefully all of it comes in. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do the caudata gold. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to lose its new leaf. The leaf is already yellow on the back. Shoot, that is really unfortunate because that's its first new leaf in quite a while. We're going to get it out of this tree fern fiber, and we're going to pot it in. We're going to pot it in a mix that's going to have bark and cocoa husk and tree fern fiber, but not just tree fern fiber. So we're just going to drop that in there. Put all that good stuff in there. Help the caudata stay adequately dry, moistened, dry. We don't want it to stay dry. We want it to stay adequately damp. So we're just getting it down in the sides like we did last time with the scoop, which helps immensely. Okay. All right, so now we got this, and we're gonna put in a trellis. And this is 2 cuttings. This is a cutting, I'm working with cutting number 1 right now. Now, I know some people like to wrap the stems around the trellis when they are doing this. I actually don't like to do that. And the reason being is it is a lot harder for me to untangle when it comes to retrellising if I do that. That's just a personal thing with me. It's not like everybody has to do that or everybody needs to have that done. That's just something for me. So here's the caudata redone. This right here is the leaf that's probably going to fall off because it's purple and yellow. But these are the leaves. They're all facing forward this time. Thank you. So hopefully I can keep that one damp and hopefully we'll have more growth on that. Hopefully. All right, so now we have the Svetlana, which has a new leaf right here. It's in soil in a self-watering pot. I don't want to keep it in the soil because I think that's hurting its growth. So I want to get it out of the soil into my mix. But I don't have a trellis for it right now. So we're kind of stuck on that point. It's going to have to wait. Yeah, because these roots are rotted. There we go. Whoop. Ooh, this looks scary. Scary Gary. I mean, thankfully there are roots. I mean, there are roots. Yay! I mean, I'm not impressed, but it did make roots. Okay, so we have this one. Okay, so we have that one. That's about as good as I'm going to get for these roots. These roots look good. You pull on them, they don't give way. Okay, let's see. I think I can reuse the wick. And we're just going to re-put it back in the same pot. I don't see any reason why we need to upgrade the pot. I mean, they're not huge cuttings yet. So we're just gonna line them up just like that. Kind of try to get exactly like they were before. Okay, do the side. Get everything in through the side. Okay, it's going good, it's going good. We're getting everything in there. Okay, I think, all right. We have it potted up. There we go. It needs a little cleaning, but it's all put in there. And we have, the tengchongensis needs a taller trellis, which I made for her. She's taller. She's a little too tall. I need to trim it a little. Okay. Okay, so now I can untrellis this one and trellis on the new one, which will be interesting. Let's see how this goes. But like I said, I didn't wrap them around hardly, so it should be easier than one would expect, hopefully. Hopefully these did not tangle up too much as they started to grow. Let's take the old trellis out and unwind it. Oh, hey, there's a little peduncle. it's got a peduncle.
For your love I volunteer, but tonight I just don't care. Some things I cannot change.
I hope that peduncle turns buds up. That would be really awesome. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that and make sure I feature that prominently. Okay, where's the new taller trellis? Okay.
The role I get to play. Happy when you fade out.
Okay, sorry about that. My battery went dead. What I'm doing is I'm on the first tendril of rewrapping my tengchongensis. And it's going well. I don't really want to bring too much of my personal life into the video, because I know you probably don't come here to watch stories about me. But, you know, there's a possibility I might need another surgery. So, you know, right now I'm thinking of how I'm going to manage that with my channel. Oop, darn it! I broke a leaf off. So I'm thinking about how to manage that, how to, you know, record videos with my channel. What would it look like? What would my channel look like at that point in time? And it's just I've been doing a lot of thinking, because, you know, I love my channel. I love recording videos. I don't want to stop. That's not something I want to do. So, you know, don't worry. I have no plans on stopping. And if I did, I'd let you know. But, you know, I know one thing is for sure, you know, this exact position may not be possible in the future. So that's, you know, one thing to consider. But, you know, you do what you do. You do what you can do. You know, I have other places I can make videos. I have other backdrops I can use. They may not be as beautiful, but they are planty nonetheless. And I'm sure that I can adapt. You know, let me know what do you think? If I adapted, what would you like to see on the channel? What would you like to see it adapt to? Is there something that you feel is missing on the channel that you wish, you know, I would cover, or I would do, or I would talk about? You know, now is the time to let me know while I'm formulating my, you know, future with my channel. I did manage to get that peduncle right out in the open, And this side is definitely much more busy than this side. Okay, here is the tengchongensis on a taller trellis. I think it looks much nicer than the other one. The other one was just too small. So that looks good. There we go. Very nice, very nice. So that is that one. And all we are left with is the lacunosa leopard skin to re-trellis it. Unfortunately, I don't have any more trellises. I have some pots, but I have no trellises that are the size I need to put in the Millsbow cabinet, unfortunately. The only other thing I have left to do is to pot up some cuttings. I can go ahead and pot up these cuttings. And I'm going to leave that one. Oh no, that's got a... Wow, that one's something. Wow. That one's got to go all of this at once. Wow. Shoot. Okay, so I got a couple of... I am just going to pot them all in a 4-inch pot. That's what I do with large cuttings. I just pot them all in a large pot, and then when they are fully rooted, I take them apart and then sell them individually. It's easier to root large cuttings all in the same pot because they're unwieldy, to say the least, especially in a small pot. They're just totally unwieldy. And then this one, which probably needs a pinning fork because it's got this. Let's see, pinning fork. Pinning fork. And something to hold this. Okay. Okay, so this is how I'm going to root those large pieces of the hanhiae. I'm going to root them all in one large pot. And then when they root, I will transfer them to an individual pot. It's easier, it's less wieldy to root them all in one pot because they're just in a 2-inch pot. They just are too big. They're too big. So that is it for the hanhiae cutting that I did. And those were cuttings that were brought up, that were cut from the plant that had grown up through the shelf above it. So I had to cut it because there was no way I could take those out through the shelf below. They just would have ripped. So I had to cut it and just remove it. So that is everything for today. We put trellises on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We put trellises on 12 plants. We repotted a 13th plant. we potted up a pot full of cuttings, so that puts us at a very full day of plant chores. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and close this up for the day. I'm going to go ahead and put these up. I'm going to water them in first of all, and then I'm going to put them up, and then I will go ahead and clean up and finish up for the day. As you can see, it's nighttime now. It's a lot darker in the room, probably too dark to see anything. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for sticking by. If you stayed here until the end, I really appreciate you sticking with me this whole day. You'll probably see this on a Sunday. That's when I'll release it. So whenever you see it, actually let me know. Let me know when you saw this video. Put it in the comment section. If you get this far, when did you watch this video? So that way I know. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye.